Hello London and welcome to our next war recap video. And this time Good War got the win. We're up against elitas, or elitas as we'll call them, and let's check out what happened in the war. Did a good job. 2-starred most of our Town Hall 10s and left a bunch of stars on our Town Hall 9s, and that ended up being the difference in the end. I think we ended up having a much better hit rate. We had 2 stunning 3 stars on their top Town Hall 10s and a bunch of 3 stars and mostly 3 stars on their Town Hall 9s. We left a few on the board. It was a Sunday and it was sunny and there were quite a few barbecues involved, and that's pretty cool. So let's check out the replays without further ado. B-Man, and we're just so pleased to bring you this because Bananaman has been so close in so many raids, and this one, it just all came together in an absolutely epic raid. So let's check it out. Kind of interesting base, sort of designed to make Valks run around the outside, I suspect. And Bananaman just comes in, kicks it off with a Queen Walk on the outside to help clear out some of the trash buildings on the right hand side of the base. And, you know, she's under a bit of fire here from some reasonable level Town Hall 10 defences, but gets those down with the help of the healers, and then those healers just bring her straight back up, and she's running around the outside of the base, which is where he wants her to go. So that's building a nice funnel for his Valks on the right side of the base. It brings in a golem with a few wizards up at the top, and that's going to form the funnel at the top of the base. And we've talked a few times now about the importance of making a funnel for your Valks into the core. And at Town Hall 10, it's all about getting your Valkyries straight to those Infernos as quickly as possible. Here he's come in on the side with the Clan Castle, which is a good choice. It gets his CC troops are great at drawing Valkyries into a base, and it just works a treat here. Draws all of his Valks straight into the center. Rage, freeze, rage, and next thing you know, it's a case of core, what core? There's jump spell at the end, which is just lovely. Keeps his Valks from getting stuck on any walls at all. And then, you know, 30 seconds later, it's quite hard to call these because it happens so fast. 30 seconds later, it's a case of, well, base, what base? He's got a few Valks running around here and there. They're slowly getting picked off by the defences. But the main thing here is what's happening at the bottom. His Queen has been kept up by the healers. One of the healers has actually peeled off and kept his King alive, which is quite helpful for him here. Just, you know, gets that little bit extra value out of his King. We'll speed up because there's a few walls and things involved here. But there's still a fair amount of the base left, and his Queen is working along. There's a couple of wizards tagging along in the background. Hits the Barbarian King's ability just to help get through a couple of those defences. But the Archer Queen's still on full health. She's being protected by the healers. There's absolutely no way what's left is going to cause her any trouble whatsoever. But look at the time, 30 seconds, and it was close. As you saw at the start of the raid, this raid took 3 minutes, and it was absolutely second by second. So, you know, absolutely no risk that it was going to fail because all these troops got taken out. It was all about the time. But only one defense left. He's still got his Queen's ability. He holds onto it just to help get that Archer Tower down. And with it comes a couple of other buildings, and there's not much left. There's 2 buildings left, and there's 4 seconds. I think there was like 1 second left to spare. Absolutely super attack, B-Man. Well done, mate. So pleased to see that one come on the board. Look forward to seeing many more. Okay, let's move right along. Next up, Major Hunky dipping down from Town Hall 11 on a cleanup attack, and this is a cleanup. It's a single Infernos, so, you know, heads up. Master 2, change your Infernos to multi. Comes in with a couple of golems and a bunch of wizards, gets a nice wide funnel built. Pre-places both his jump spells, and that's a good tactic for Valks because it does happen so fast, so that just means it's one less thing you have to worry about. Double finger drops his Valks in, and they do split on him. Doesn't really cause him too much of a problem because, you know, they're good at burning through walls. There's a balloon in the CC, and that can be dangerous to his Valks if they get a bomb off. They can really damage your Valks, but they're just tearing through this base quickly. I think the balloon's actually having difficulty keeping up with the Valks, so he's fine when it's under rage. and his heroes end up taking out the balloon anyway. And from here, there's the core of the base has just been ripped apart. He's got all his heroes still up, his wardens still up. There's just not a lot left. One of his golems is still running around tanking. He's got a couple of Valkyries running around. There's not too much left to see here. Let's just move along and spare Master 2. Actually, he's got a shed ton of... I didn't see all those Valks running around with his queen. And that's a really nice arrangement there, because all the Valks are taking the damage from the defences and letting his queen just follow behind, popping all the defences off while they're targeting the Valks. So just boom, absolutely lovely, flawless attack there from Major Hunky. What a great start to the war. Coming up next, we've got number 6. This is Crusher dipping down. And there you go. Nice to see an attack that isn't full of Valkyries. And we can always rely on Crusher to bring us an attack that doesn't feature 900% Valkyries. So it brings in a couple of golems and instead a bunch of wizards. So different strategy, works really well. Again, mid-level. These are mid-level heroes. They're 2020 heroes. These are not max-level heroes. He's a Town Hall 10, so he's got an extra spell and max whizzies and P.E.K.K.A, and that helps. So this is a go wipe at Town Hall 10, dipping down and flattening at Town Hall 9, and that's always kind of fun to see, because you don't see many go wipes in war, but it can still be effective, at least on these dip attacks. At least those max P.E.K.K.A, just that extra 1,000 health just really helps with tipping through the base, and the fact there's no infernos to complicate matters, as there is at Town Hall 10, keeps it a little bit easier. And as we can see, straight in through the core with the main kill squad, and then all that's left is a few defences around the outside. There's some archers at the top. He's still got all of his P.E.K.K.As are still up. He's got his king almost on full health. His queen has gone down. She kind of wandered off from the main kill squad, which is kind of unfortunate, but does happen from time to time. And now it's just a matter of clean up as his troops run around the base. It's going to take a little while, so we might fast forward. This is one of the downsides of Go Wipe, is it is a little bit slow, but gets the job done. A couple of his P.E.K.K.A break off there, which is kind of interesting, leaving his king exposed, and his king goes down, but the P.E.K.K.A get where they need to go. They get in and start running on the inside of the base, which is much better for him, because that's where all the defences are. And when they go down, of course, it's just a question of mopping. P.E.K.K.A's just running around. He's got that wizard, which is being tanked by 3 max P.E.K.K.As, so it's absolutely not going to be under any threat whatsoever. And the P.E.K.K.As just run through, and it's just a matter of time. Boom, job done. Lovely attack, Crusher. Nice work, mate. Okay, who's up next? Plan Jennie. You're going to see a lot of Plan Jennie, I'm guessing. We keep trying to encourage her to move up to Town Hall 10, but she's hanging out at Town Hall 9 and seems to be quite enjoying being at Town Hall 9 for the moment, so that's all cool. But love to see you up at Town Hall 10. Alrighty, here we go. She's got a couple of golems coming down, a bunch of Valkyries, drops in the heroes, builds a nice funnel for the Valks, straight in, through, lovely jump spell before the Valks kill all the defences, catches a couple of giant bombs there, but that's okay. She's got the heal ready. Lava Hand in the CC, which is going to do her Valkyries no harm whatsoever. Rage for the Valks through the core. Next thing you know, enemy Archqueen's down. The core is down. A couple of hogs in on the right hand side just to clear up those defences that are targeting the golem. A couple of them though have changed their targets, now targeting the hogs, which is kind of interesting. Valks, meanwhile, continuing to do what Valks do best. She's got an extra heal spell for the Valks, just to keep them going through the base. We've got the Archer Queen here, and the King, helped by a Golem. There's 2 defences left in the base. She's got both the heroes left, both the abilities left. We all know what's going to happen next. It's just a matter of mopping up through the base. She's even got a Wizard left, which is something that I wish I did more often. Just to help with the cleanup, but the King actually dashes off to the side to get that on. There's a little builder's hut up the corner there, but she's got wizards all around the base, so they're going to run around, do what they do best, and it's just a question of cleanup. Here we go. We all know what's coming 3, 2, 1, boom. Lovely attack, Jennie. Absolutely super. Alrighty, and next we've got Jason dipping down with a lovely attack. Again, this is a go wee wee, which is kind of, we don't see many witches in Warp, but they have a place. They still provide useful distractions for the rest of your troops and keep them running around. Don't need to bring a bucket load of them, just 1 or 2 just to help spawn those skellies and distract all the defences, which is exactly what Jason does here. Brings the wizzies, drops his golems, brings a few wizards on the outside. I really like how he's dropped his wizards to either side of his golems and cleared out all the defensive, all the trash buildings to either side of the golems, and left the buildings near the golems till last, because your main kill squad is going to clear those, so you don't really need to drop any wizards for those. Brings in his witches, he's got Valkyries, he's got wizards, he's got his heroes in behind, there's rages, there's freezers, and you just know with that kind of troop set that it's going to be game over for whoever's on the other side of the attack, really. So Barbarian King's ability, there's a heal spell in the core just to keep all these Valks up while they're tanking through. Some back-end hogs, which I just love to see. One of the things with mass Valk attacks that you see is, particularly at Town Hall 9, is there's enough spells to get your Valks into the core. Quite often they end up sitting and beating through walls on the back end as they're coming out of the core, and a few back-end hogs can really help your Valks, because all the defences are going to be targeting your Valkyries anyway, so the hogs are going to be pretty much protected, and it helps take the defences down, which is what's going to kill your Valks as they're trying to get outside the core anyway. So really nice touch. Look at that, there's 3 golems there and they're just running around. None of them have popped. He's got so much tanking. There's wizards, there's a few archers. He's got both heroes up, and there's 3 defences left. Just coming through, we know what's going to happen here. His queen just escapes that Tesla there, but the rest of the defences are all distracted, and the Archer Queen takes down the last remaining defence. We know what's going to happen from here. Lovely attack. Loved the use of the spells to get the Valks straight in through the centre. And liked seeing the witches, actually. I thought they did a really nice job. So, lovely attack, Jace. Keep it up, mate. And let's move along. Who's next? Couple missed. As I say, lots of barbecues at the weekend. But coming up next, we've got Uni coming in with the Govar. And as you can see, Uni kicks it off with a Queen Walk. We like to see that. Get good value when you've got a level 20 plus queen with a Queen Walk. Picks the opposite side of the base, or to come in with the Valks, makes a nice funnel straight in through the centre, a rage spell, and she, lovely touch here, doesn't bother with the jump spell because she knows the Archer Queen is going to be close enough to target her Valks there, and the Valks just love chasing CC troops and Archer Queens, so you need understand she doesn't need to bring a jump spell there because the Valks will just run after the Queen anyway. Into the core, heal spell to keep them up. There's an absolute shed ton of Valks there. The other nice thing about this is the Valks have run in to the core much faster than the Archer Queen, which means the CC troops, which in this case is a Lava Hound, have targeted the Valks and not the Archer Queen, which is great because the Valks don't shoot the air troops, so that Lava Hound has suffered no damage at all. It's at no risk whatsoever of popping. Her Archer Queen is on the opposite side of the base and is not going to get distracted by the Lava Hound, which means the Lava Hound's not going to pop. There's a couple of wizards here starting to target it, but at this point it's too late. Had the Archer Queen got into the centre first and targeted the Lava Hound, 2 things would have happened. One is the Archer Queen would have been distracted for 20 seconds or so whilst he killed the Lava Hound, and then there'd been all these pops running around. But as it turns out, 99%, there's 1 Builder's Hut left, and just now the Archer Queen is targeting the Lava Hound. So if you get a chance to, if you know there's a Lava Hound in the CC, it's a great opportunity to use Valks and send them in so they reach and lure the CC before your Queen, and keep, for whatever you do, keep your Queen and your Wizards well away from the Lava Hound, and you get a nice easy raid like that one, in the sense of there's no Lava Hound to pop and you don't have to worry about the pops. So great raid, Uni. Coming up next, we've got Andrew bringing Valks. Andrew was one of our Go-Ho stalwarts, but he's recently maxed his Valks out and he's keen to give them a run at Town Hall 9 to see what all the fuss is about. So he kicks things off with very patient, and we know that about all of Andrew's raids, always very patient. And gets the Arch Queen there jumping outside the base, uses a few earthquakes to open the base up, and he's opened up pretty much 3/4 of the base with those earthquake spells. He's built a nice wide funnel. There's only one place his Valkyries are going to go, and that's into the centre of the base. But his Valkyries kind of run around a little bit here if you're watching them, and what they're doing is they're chasing the Archer Queen. They love to chase an Archer Queen. Once you start shooting a Valkyrie, it seems like all the Valks in the same pack end up targeting her, and if she's on the other side of a wall and they can run to her easily, they'll quite happily run around 7-8 tiles worth of walls to get to the queen. It's kind of interesting. They can be quite easily distracted, Valkyries. It opens up some possibilities for base design if I was better at base design. But comes in here with a few hogs on the right hand side, help clear out. There's quite a concentrated patch of defenses there, so a few hogs doing some good work in taking out those. And next thing you know, there's two defensive buildings. I can't count down fast enough here. Buildings left. He's still got his Archer's Queen's ability. He pops it just there, and now there's just a Wizard Tower left, which can be dangerous to hogs, but certainly isn't going to do his Queen any harm. Only 40 seconds left in the raid, but I like where he's dropped his Wizard. He's kept one Wizard for cleanup, and he's dropped it on the far side of the base from all the rest of his troops. Now all the defences are down, the Wizard's under no threat except maybe a double giant bomb, but there doesn't seem to be a spot for that. So he knows the Wizard is pretty safe, and Wizard is absolutely great for cleaning up all these junk buildings on the outside. So lovely placement there. We'll speed up here. We don't need to see too much of this. We've all seen this before. Just Wizards and Archer Queens shooting buildings that can't shoot back. So 2-1, lovely attack, Andrew. Enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying the Valks. Okay, moving along. We've got Faye. Oh, this is one of my favourite raids of the war. Kind of internet style base, really symmetrical. And Faye goes, okay, so you got a symmetrical base, let's have a symmetrical attack. So he comes in, bang from the bottom with one hog, gets a CC lure. We'll fast forward through this a little bit because we've seen this a few times. We all know you lure the dragon, bunch of archers, under poison, a little bit of patience, and next thing you know, the CC troops are gone. Okay, so he's got some archers at the bottom, but the main attack force is going to come in up from the top here. So watch what he does here. There's one cannon on the outside, which is going to draw his golems to it. So he uses that to his advantage, so he knows where his golems are going to go. A couple of early wizards down, makes the funnel, drops the jump spell in, he's got his king down, drops the Valks, bang smack at the top of the base, so he knows where they're going to go. Heal spell down for them because better to heal your Valks sooner, and he knows that Tesla farm is going to pop, and there's a few giant bombs around. But what I like about this is look at the symmetrical way that the base is getting taken out. So those two top compartments are done. Now all the Valks are in the core. That's going to go down. And the next thing you know, there's hogs coming in from the bottom just surgically on those outer defences. The Valks happen, for whatever reason, to split up into two halves and take out the two side compartments at the same time. And then it's just a question of taking out at this point, the base is pretty much toast. Look at all the hogs, let alone all the Valks. And there's only two defences left, or make that one defence. Absolutely lovely, just perfectly symmetrical. Just really, really nice sort of artistic attack there. One of my faves, and we'll just watch look at all the troops descending on that last building. Just absolutely glorious attack. Or, as we like to say in England, not bad. Okay, we've got MinorMajor coming in on number 18, pretty much bringing Valks and Wizards by the looks of things, and a few troops. So brings in the Giant, gets the CC lure, which is the purpose of the Giant, draws out the top with a single archer, Oh, it's a barb actually, by the looks of that. Drops the poison down, has enough barbs, and look, this is the best way to deal with CC troops if you've got a poison, is just drop one barb every couple of seconds and let the poison do the bulk of the work. It costs you like 5 troop space, and you can take out a max dragon and whatever else happens to be with it. There's no worrying about losing loads of wizards. You don't have your archer queen targeted by the dragon and lose her. And he's spent what, 10 troop space, maybe 12. He's taken out the CC. Lovely work. Drops the golem, building a nice wide funnel. And if you know, the further away the walls are from the outside buildings, which the side is coming on here, the walls are actually quite a long way away from where he can place his troops, the wider your funnel has to be, because Valks run to the closest thing from the point that you drop them. The same goes true for Pekka as well. But he builds a nice wide funnel, which is pretty much the entire side of the base. Drops a heal spell to keep them running around. He's got his heroes running around the outside. One jump spell, a heal to keep them up. He's got another heal here, which is saving, and he just drops it for the center of the core just to keep them running through all those expos. But he's got an absolute ton of Valks here. And they're pretty much all still alive, so there's not a lot of hope left for this base. His heroes are still doing work down the bottom. There's goodness only knows how many Valks left running around there. Look at all the wizards he's got, and well, you know, the base is already pretty much done, so not much left to see here. A little bit of a bully, but it's a Town Hall 9 on Town Hall 9 bully on this occasion. But lovely attack, Major, absolutely lovely. Yeah, overpowered. Boom, job done. Alrighty, coming up, we've got Jib coming in. And, well, it doesn't get much more Valk heavy than this particular raid. Which, you say Valks are in? This is what we mean by Valks are in. So he just brings enough earthquakes to open up the base on the top. And then it's just going to be a case of, well, let's bring it with the Valks. So he drops a golem for a bit of distraction, drops the heroes, and then it's just a question of dropping all of the Valks in and letting them do their work. Drops a heal spell while they're dealing with the CC troops, and that's always a good choice. There's only a couple of things that can really hurt your Valks, and one of them is the CC troops. So if you heal your Valks while they're dealing with those, particularly things like wizards, balloons, dragons, you're 9/10 of the way there. The other thing that can really hit your Valks is a whole bunch of giant bombs, which he knew was there, 'cause this was a clean-up attack, I think. So really nicely timed and placed heal spells. And as you can see, there's pretty much, well, there's one compartment left of the base. But he's got Valks on the outside, he's got a bunch of Valks running around with his king. He's got his king on full health. He's got a golem tanking some of the defences left in that one compartment. There's only one or two Valks that have broken through that wall, but they've already taken down one of the defences. He's popped his queen's ability there, and we know what's going to happen here, because there's way too many Valks for those point defences to cope with, and it's just a question of time, really. So there's just 3, 2, 1, job done. Alrighty, coming up next, number 20, we've got Eva coming up against, well, it's an interesting base design. There's quite a lot of hit points on the outside of the base, which is unusual. But yeah, so easy CC, gets the easy CC lure. Brings the dragon down to the base of the bottom of the map, and just a couple of barbs, a couple of wizards, a couple of archers. That's the shorthand version of what we saw on Major's attack. So you use barbs to distract and 1 or 2 wizards. It's a really great technique to learn how to use. Works from Town Hall 9 upwards. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't take up much troop space and saves your main attack squad from any damage that might come from those heavy damage defense units like balloons and so forth. So it builds a nice wide funnel, bunch of wall breakers, just to ensure that they're going in. Even there, the Valks hesitated a second there, so it just goes to show just how wide that funnel needs to be. Jump spell for the Valks, gets a couple, persuades a couple to go in, but not all of them. But it turns out that works out for her, because we've got Valks on the outside, Valks on the inside. There's defenses in both rings. These ring bases really should be a thing of the past. If you've got a ring base in war, and with the current state of the game, that's just like good night, sweet prince. As Eva is ably demonstrating right about now. So that's pretty much all the defenses taken care of, because they were very conveniently all located in 1 or 2 rings, with most of the defenses touching other defenses. So the Valks were extra efficient at taking them out. There's just a bit of cleanup to do, and we know how that's going to work. Nothing here to stop these Valks from getting anything other than the job done. Lovely attack, Eva. Okay. And up next, back to back. This is Eva dipping down on a Town Hall 8 and doing it with a double Zapquake drag attack. So gets Zapquake on 2 air defenses, and now there's only 1 air defense left. Starts off by taking out a couple of those builders huts, which can be annoying on dragon attacks and cost you on time. Builds a nice funnel for her main squad, and the target obviously is straight into that first air defense. Lovely work in building that funnel. Really patient on the outside whilst the initial couple of drags took out those defenses, and then dropped the bulk of her troops in the centre, just guaranteeing they run straight through the middle of the base. That's exactly what they've done. There's a couple of balloons in the CC just to help clear out some of the defences, make it a bit easier on her dragons. Obviously, being a Town Hall 9, she's got kings and queens still up, and the next thing you know, it's a case of Town Hall 9, or Town Hall 8 in this case. What Town Hall 8? So very, very nice. Boom, job done. Nice work. Alrighty. Up next, some Town Hall 8 on Town Hall 8 action, and we've got Zimmer coming in, bringing... Zapquake is still very popular at Town Hall 8, and he's done this beautifully. So he's taken out the one air defense, or one of the air defenses, and left the other 2 that are in a line, and he's come in from the direction that's behind where the air sweeper is placed, so he doesn't have to worry about the air sweeper. He's got a couple of loons of his own. He's got a bunch of loons, max loons in the CC, and a raid spell. And having cleared out the outer defenses, he knows there's only one place those loons are going to go. That's really nice placement on the raid spell, and really nice funneling. That's absolutely glorious. If you want a textbook Town Hall 8 dragon funneling, you've just seen it right there. And then from here, there's a couple of archer towers, but really this is all about clean up. The number of dragons that he's got left, and level 3 dragons are plenty tanky enough to cope with 3 archer towers. Particularly when you've got a few running in the middle. He's got his king up, providing a bit of distraction, but we all know what's happening. It's job done, and lovely attack. Very much enjoyed that one. Alrighty, up next we have Raj taking on their number 23, and this is Raj is one of our Town Hall 7s, and he's taking on a Town Hall 7 as well. Comes in with a hog, gets the CC lure. Kind of an interesting CC lure here. There's a couple of max Valks and a wizard, max wizard. Pretty tough to deal with lower level troops. Draws them to the edge of the map. Drops a poison. Of course, with the new update, everything runs out of the poison spell, and drops a second poison, but that's probably lack of familiarity with the poison spell post update. So a couple of minions, and that's a much better call. Minions are a great way of dealing with CC Valks, because the Valks can't shoot the minions, and it's very safe. You don't even need a poison. If you know there's Valks in the CC, then even 1 minion is all you need if you're patient enough, or a couple if you've got a little bit of time. But he comes in with a bunch. I mean, he has an absolute truckload of giants. He's got giants in the CC, so he's got a few max level giants as well. He's dropped his king down. Those minions are still doing work on that gold storage, which is great. Just saves him a bit of cleanup. Drops a couple of wizards on the back end. And it's just nice to see an attack at Town Hall 7 or 8 that isn't mass dragon. So that's lovely to see. Good call, Raj. And he's just those giants that's going to work their way through. He's going to keep them up under a heal spell. Double giant bomb, not a problem. I mean, I have no idea how many giants there are there, but there is an absolute ton of them. And he's got quite a nice little split going here. Is that on the left he's got a bunch of giants and a couple of wizards. And on the right, he's got his Barbarian King and a few wizards as well. And his Barbarian King's tanking all the defenses while his wizards take them all out. Heal spell there to keep his giant up in the core. Loses a few to a Spring Trap. The defending Barbarian King, or a few more to Spring Traps there. The Barbarian King is going to get on his giants there, but level 3 is pretty low level. The amount of damage the Barbarian King does is pretty small at lower levels, so that heal spell is going to keep his giants up and running. Nicely placed Spring Traps, I've got to say. He's lost a lot of giants to Spring Traps. However, there's not much of the base left. He's dropped a few archers, or I say a few, he's actually got a bunch of archers there. I love watching like 20, 30, 40 archers just stream arrows and take absolutely everything out, and that's exactly what happens to the Town Hall. Archers coming along up the back. There's one cannon left, but there's so many defences. Those giants are doing a fabulous job tanking for all those archers. And the next thing you know, he's got the 3-star. Lovely attack, Raj. Really enjoyed that one. Really refreshing change. Okay, coming up next on number 24, we've got the one and the only DangerMouse by special request. I know there's a lot of people wanting to see a lot more of this guy, and I'm sure we will. As he comes in, and DangerMouse is one of our new additions. He's, as you probably guessed, one of a second account from one of our people. He gets a CC lure, and look, there's a couple of Alts and a wizard. It's almost like they've been watching the previous replay. DangerMouse got a slightly different strategy. He's brought a Max Dragon in his CC, which is kind of interesting because it has no trouble at all dealing with those CC troops, so that's quite nice. And the Max Dragon, of course, has an absolute bunch of hit points. So when you look at the defences that are available, and he's lured the CC into the corner of the base that's furthest away from the air defence, so he's going to get a lot of value out of that dragon. It's going to just wreck a good portion of this base before it finally gets in range of the air defence. So really nice job there in terms of where you came, the direction that DangerMouse came in from, and his choice of CC troops. A few giants, some wizards, and a nice amount of wall breakers to open up the base. And I like to see that with giant attacks, because the thing with giants is they've got a bunch of health, so they can, at these kind of Town Hall levels 7, 8 and even 9, you're not going to run out of giant health. What you are going to run out, they're going to run out of steam when they hit walls, and they spend a lot of time trying to bash their way through a wall until you get to level 6 plus giants, when they've got a decent amount of damage. So a bunch of wall breakers just to open the base up a little bit can really help, and you can see it very early. Town Hall 7 level 1 king probably only just hit Town Hall 7, and grats on that one. And it doesn't take many heals, just to refresh your giants. It's like you've dropped 2 or 3 batches of giants. Really, really nice attack. Oh, Spring Trap. But just look at how many troops he's got left. Oh, but the raid is not over. There is in the corner, and he's foreseen it coming because he's brought one single archer that takes out both those buildings. Lovely attack. Lovely attack. Okay, and we've got one more for you today. Hunkette. Gotta love Hunkette. And I think this, as we saw the last raid, may well have been DangerMouse's first 3-star attack in a raid, and Hunkette has lured the CC and dropped a single barb and a barb and an archer just to draw them away from all the defenses, which is always a good call when you're dealing with a CC. That Valk does take up a bit of damage, soak up a bit of damage from the dragon, which means the dragon takes a bit of damage in turn from the defending wizard, but it's not going to be one wizard is not going to take out a max dragon. And then here comes Hunkette. It's a pretty small base, so we'll have a little bit of a closer look at what's going on. A few barks, there's some giants in the core, there's the max dragon. It does eventually pop when it gets in range of the air defense, but by then there's the giants are in the core, there's archers around the outside, there's even a few wall breakers opening up that. Oh, nice. Wall breakers are so random. 9 times out of 10 their AI just makes you want to scream, and every now and again they just behave like you'd like them to behave all the time, let's put it that way. But here, look, he's got the giant and he's got archers, so it's almost like a classic raid at this point, because he's got giants and barch. But look, by the time we've taken out the major defences, it's a pretty baby base, and that's pretty much all it needs. It is kind of a raid attack in that sense. A couple of wizards on the outside just for insurance. But look, the base has been completely overpowered. Apologies for the Wi-Fi signal in the middle of the screen. No idea what's going on there. But Hunkette doesn't worry about the Wi-Fi signal. She just rocks along and gets the 3-star, and I'm sure she's going to relax with a lovely massage off the back of that. So lovely attack, Hunkette. Love to see it. Looking forward to seeing a lot more of you in war. And we might call it there, because it looks like my phone is completely lost signal. So hope you enjoyed that one. Fabulous war, lots of great attacks. Looking forward to bringing you the next one.